Hey YouTube! I'm probably not gonna edit this video because I'm very late recording this draft analysis. Hey guys! It is Isaac Mander, your coach of the Canadian Sarah Luchas, and guys, we are back for another draft league. This is a low-tier draft league. I haven't played low-tier in a hot minute, but this low-tier format is definitely interesting. So, a lot of low-tier leagues I play, they allow a bunch of shit. One league allowed Haxorus, so one league allowed Terra Jolteon. Yeah, I'm in a lot of psychopathic low-tier leagues, but this is like the most normal low-tier league I've been in. But I did notice a few things, and this will relate to my draft picks, since I got exactly in the middle. I got pick 6. So, there's 12 people. I got 6th pick. This is for the CDC, Victini division, and I noticed one thing. There are only 2 fucking fairies I want to draft, and that's Carnivore and Florges. I don't want nobody else. I don't want no Alcremie. So, for round 1, I picked up probably the most obvious fucking fairy type, Florges. This was 18 points, I think? Yeah, 18 points. This is really expensive, but we got Florges. I think we had 110 or 120 points. I don't know, something like that. We had a number of points, and we had to get 9 to something Pokemon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I drafted 10. So, we'll just say 10. So, we got fairy type, Florges. So, basically, why I drafted it? It's a fucking fairy type. It's also pretty strong, pretty bulky, and especially in low tier, like this special attacker is pretty good. So this league, you just click buttons, and in this league, there are like 4 steel types that are like actually good. So, okay, there's probably more. There's like 6 steel types that are like actually viable in this video game. So like, Florges clicks Moonblast on a lot of things. And it gets the chilling water for them fire types, so watch out. But yeah, this mon could really strive as a choice scarf for choice specs, Calm Mind, bulky Wish Passer, so it can definitely help a more bulky mode of team. Now, my next pick, I really prioritized speed. There were 2 fast electrics I wanted, Jolteon and Kilowattrel, and of course they both make it to me, making my life hard. You have to choose, and I hate choosing. I don't like picking between Pokemon, okay? So, I didn't ask anybody. Well, I did ask a few people. But I also just mainly asked myself, and I wanted both. I've never used either of them in draft. Jolteon does get the quick feed ability, making it just the fastest thing no matter what. And it gets moves like Calm Mind, which just makes it really awesome. But there's one thing that convinced me to get Kilowattrel, and that is, first of all, a flying type, and second of all, competitive. Oh, and third of all, it's Uni the bus. Uni's the bus. It gets competitive. So, it is weaker than Jolteon. If I put Jolteon in here, it is weaker and slower and less bulky. So, you'd think, isn't Jolteon better? It gets Calm Mind and shit. Yeah, maybe. And it gets Copycat and Charm. Kilowattrel doesn't get all that shit. But you know what Kilowattrel does get? It gets Feather Dance. But in reality, it also gets U-Turn. So, it can actually pivot on ground types. It also gets Recovery, which I think is nice. Now, this was definitely the toughest pick of the draft for me. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say that like 3 picks later, but... But basically, fast flying type, I'm preying on my Hurricane luck. That's basically all. That's Kilowattrel. It gets competitive, it gets Volt Absorb, Wind Power, who the fuck... Nobody uses that, let's be so honest. But yeah, competitive, awesome ability to punish the Intimidators, especially since Intimidate Pokemon, two very strong Pokemon in this format are the Tauroses. So, it can counter those. So yeah. Next, I wanted a Steel type and I wanted Hazard Removal. I wanted to get Brambleghast. It got taken. So RIP Brambleghast. But we got Fortress. Now, I was debating between this and Hitmontop, but I got Fori. I've never used this Pokemon before, but it's basically just an all-in-one Hazards machine with Spin. So that makes it pretty nice. It's also pretty strong, to be honest. Like 90 attack is not bad, and like Body Press is always a viable option. So if there's no fire types, then like this Pokemon's really strong. So yeah, it's Fortress, basically as a utility Pokemon that can also go on the offensive, especially in a lower tier format, where this 90 attack stat's not that bad. The next Pokemon I got was my bulky water, or I wouldn't say bulky, but I got a water type. I also noticed there were like 4 dragons in the format, and there were only 2 that I would really like super want to get, and that was Flygon and Kingdra. And Kingdra somehow made it to me. I don't know how. I don't know. This Pokemon is solid speed stat. It gets Swift Swim, so if I do run Manual Rain, because Politoed's Rain Drizzle is banned. They hate on Kingdra, right? But this mon is very good. It gets Flash Cannon to hit those fairy types. Okay, it gets Iron Head to hit fairies, mainly for Gardevoir. And it also outspeeds Gardevoir, so Gardevoir has to be Choice Scarf. Or if I have the Rain up, then yeah, it's getting one-tapped by an Iron Head, let's be so honest. And the other fairies in the format, like Whimsicott, like I said, in the Rain, just outspeeds. So this Pokemon can be really strong, especially under the weather condition of Rain. But even without Rain, it has solid attacking stats, and it can be a nice, bulky Pokemon with its really good typing. Its solid strength and its ability to be a mixed attacker makes it really excel in my opinion. It gets Dragon Dance. It also gets Hurricane if I'm running Rain, of course. And yeah, it just gets a solid move pool. It gets Flip Turn. So I got my Pivot Core here with these three, and this thing gets Baton Pass. So all my Pokemon can pivot so far, which I think is epic. Now, the next Pokemon I wanted to get a Ghost Resist because, yeah, I don't want Shadow Ball to click into me. So we got Brute Bonnet. Or Brute Bonnet. I don't know how people fucking pronounce this guy. But the reason I drafted this was because it is a solid grass type, so it's a solid ground resist. And it also is a solid ghost resist. Now, its typing is kind of meh, but I have like 25 bug switch-ins, so it should be fine. Also priority as well, it gets Sucker Punch with a pretty strong attack stat, and it gets Spore, so it does force prep at worst. It also gets recovery with Synthesis, and overall just a pretty solid move pool. CC, I mean, it could be special, but you're probably going to run it physically. It also can run the Booster Energy item, mainly for its attack. I think it could run Booster in its bulk if you really wanted to. But at that point, just run EV. Like... But yeah, this thing can run Spore, so that's super nice. Yeah, I think this Pokemon is pretty solid. I've used this not in draft, like not in a low tier league, but I have mocked my friend had to fight a Brute Bonnet in a playoffs game, so I used it against him, and I like swept him with the Trailblaze set, so... This Pokemon is very fun. So I figured it'd be a great pick. Now, the next Pokemon that I got was Terra Captains. How do Terras work in this league? Well, it's actually Open Terra, and you have 12 points for Terras, and my strategy originally was to go an 8-pointer and a 4-pointer, but my budget was getting kind of cooked. I really splurged with my first 4 picks, all being 16 points or higher, and then Brute Bonnet's 13, so I'm running low. So, I decided to go for the 6 and 6 strat. I really wanted a particular Terra Captain because I used it in my first ever low tier league, and it helped me get to finals in that league, so I was very happy. So we got a Alola Dugtrio! This is my GOAT. I love this Pokemon. One of my favorite Terra Captains in low tier. It is just such a fast, strong ground type, and it also gives me a ground type. Also gives me another steel type, which is a little more offensive to the Fortress, which is always nice. But yeah, Dugtrio, the Beebs, the sexy hair. Let's fucking go. It gets Sword Stance, it gets Prio and Sucker Punch. And with Open Terra, I can Terra it to either give it coverage, boost its Earthquakes, boost its Iron Heads, whatever. It also gets Iron Defense, which is, yeah, I don't know if I've ever won that, but hey. Tangling Hair is also an awesome ability. And of course, Sand Forest in a Sandstorm environment. So yeah, that is Alolan Dugtrio. Basically just a very solid Pokemon overall. Now, I wanted to get my next Terra Captain. I really wanted Magmar, but Magmar was 1 point more. It was 7. And I'm like, no! No! I was so sad. I really wanted Magmar. And I tried fitting it in, but I couldn't get another Terra Captain. Or my Terra Captain would be 1 point. And I don't think I want to make my 1 pointer a Terra Captain. I'll tell y'all what 1 pointer I got in a second. But no. So, we got Pyroar instead. Pretty solid Pokemon overall. It gets Unnerve, which is just an amazing ability. It's fast, it's strong, with Open Terra, basically fire, normal, or like the primaries on this. Both my Terras are very offensive. So that's, I guess, a bad thing about my team is I don't have a defensive Terramon. I just have a bunch of offense. But honestly, that's how I like to play anyway, so... You also get Entrainment, so Araquanid users, I don't think Araquanid's even in this league, but... Watch out! Watch out, Araquanid users! But yeah, it gets Moxie for no reason. Like, what the fuck? Give it Special Moxie. Or just give it another ability. Give it Intimidate. Or give it, like... better ability. There we go. But yeah, Pyroar, very cool mon. It gets Trailblaze, which is pretty cool. But it's just an overall strong fire, strong normal type. Yeah. Now, I needed a Grounded Poison. And this was also a difficult choice. Muck or Skunk Tank. Now, I already had a Dark type, and I was fine into Ghost. I felt like Brute Bonnet is such a solid resist, and Pyroar isn't bad either, that I went with Muck instead. Muck also gives me a Fairy resist, which is always nice. They're both 7 points, so I decided to get Muck. Swalot was taken, so if I couldn't even get Swalot, which would have been my other Terra, and I would have gone to Magmar, I guess, but nah, we got Muck. Muck is freaking goated. It's just so bulky. 105, 100 is insane. In low tier especially. This Pokemon's good in standard play. Like, I like this mon in normal draft. It gets Acid Armor, which is just a broken move. Knockoff is always a nice tool. It gets T-Spikes, Toxic, Taunt, Pain Split. Yeah, it just gets it all. It gets a great move pull, so yeah, I'm very excited to get to use Muck. Great Grounded Poison. Now, I wanted a fighting type, and I was gonna get Sweet Sneasel. Doesn't resist Fairy. Would have probably gone Magmar, maybe. I don't know. I had like 15 plans after the Brute Bonnet pick. Okay, after the Dugtrio pick, to be honest. Like, everything else, I kept changing. But yeah, we got Paldean Tauros as my fighting type. Now, this may be the cool ones, right? The one with the fire move and one with the water move, but it's half the price. So I can't be too mad. It's a fast fighting type. It gets Intimidate. It gets Cut-Chew, which is an awesome ability. And yeah, it's just a fast fighting type. As you notice, I have a lot of fast offensive guys on my team. And then, 1 point, the most important pick of the draft, we got Strudel, the mascot pick. You know, because they wouldn't allow us to, they didn't give us that choice to do that. So we had to do this ourselves. We had to save a point, and we got Strudel. Strudel! This is the best Pokemon on my draft. So watch out. So yeah, that's it for my draft analysis for the CDC. What? Oh, get out. You're not on my draft. Well, that is it for the CDC Victini Division draft analysis. This is the worst draft analysis ever. So I hope you all enjoy. Sorry for this scuffed video. I'm tired, man. Ah! I'll see you all next time. Peace! Ah! How do I end this?